as a community.
Welcome back to the Candid Conversation Show. My name is Muriel, and on the show, we discuss topics that are taboo and unspoken in the community. Our guest tonight is Josan Battle. She's going to talk to us a little bit about having lupus and all the nice and fun things that she does.
Josan, thank you so much for being here with us.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure.
You look absolutely beautiful.
Gorgeous. Thank you.
Like a Barbie doll.
Yes. Thank you, Stevie.
You come from a pretty amazing family.
I do.
Yeah.
I
Can you
really
tell
do.
us a little bit about yourself?
I would love to. So I was born into the Battle family, and both of my parents are Broadway performers, Letty Battle and Eugene Little, and my uncle is Hinton Battle, 3-time Tony Award winner.
So you were just born. You're a natural.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice, I think. Dance or get out. Yeah.
What about your childhood? Where were you born? How was your upbringing?
I was born in Brooklyn, New York. Right, Brooklyn. Yeah, it was an incredible childhood. I got the opportunity to be backstage and some of Broadway's most famous theaters, and be in the dance studios and the rehearsal spaces with some of the absolute best in the industry.
Wow.
So I got to learn the entire flow of a production from the concept on paper to the final curtain call, and it was the most amazing experience. And it was kind of bad because I got so used to that environment that there was actually a time during a show I was in the audience and I was singing so loudly I was disrupting the show.
Like, girl, be quiet.
They were like, get her out.
Yes.
But I knew all the songs because I'd been in rehearsal. So
Like, who is that?
Right? Get her out of here. But it was great. It was a wonderful experience, and it really did frame me as not only as a performer but also a person and as an adult.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. Any brothers or sisters?
I do. I got a beautiful family. I have 2 sisters, one older, Nirvana, and a younger sister, Angelique. I know, my mother and father were like, just great on these names. And then my brother, Jason. He did get the more regular name.
Yeah.
We still love you.
That's great.
Yeah,
We know that you have lupus.
I do.
Tell the audience, what is lupus and when were you diagnosed?
Oh my goodness. So I'm looking right in the camera. So
Yes.
I can tell you guys.
Yes.
So lupus is an autoimmune disease, and a lot of times people don't understand about autoimmune diseases that it's your own body fighting against itself. And in the case for lupus, it's often called the invisible disease because a lot of people don't talk very much about it.
Right.
A lot of the symptoms mimic other diseases, so it may be several years before you're officially or properly diagnosed. And my experience with lupus started when I was about 21 years old.
Really?
I was pregnant with my first son.
Okay.
Yeah, and I started having extreme fatigue. And so I was actually living in Germany at the time.
Okay.
It was a beautiful place to be, and I
Well,
actually had...
wait a minute now. Germany.
Rewind.
What took you to Germany? Wait a minute now.
I have to say, if I condense the story down, really, I fell in love.
Okay.
I moved to Germany.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
I lived there for 4 years.
It's a beautiful place,
Yes, it is.
right?
I love it.
Yeah. So I was there and I had amazing health care. And so one of the things, yes, universal health care.
That's right.
Get with it.
There you go.
Yes, we need it.
So when I was there, they tried everything to figure out what was causing the fatigue. So we were looking at my nutrition, and as a dancer and an athlete, it was, I know I'm eating well, I know I'm doing the best things for my body, so what could be happening? You know, it's B12 deficiency, vitamin D deficiencies.
Okay.
So we thought maybe narcolepsy, so I went into do all this testing with the nodes and everything.
Yes.
And that wasn't it, and then my hair started to fall out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so on one side of my hair was just falling out. So I'd literally be in the shower, and you hear, and I'm thinking I dropped something.
Right,
And
it's
it
your
was hair. Just hit the floor.
So you're like, you guys, you need to figure out what's going
Yeah,
on with
going
me.
on me. Yeah, and it was incredible. And so after we did a lot of blood testing, and just as a note, there is no one particular test that will be the determining factors if you have lupus or not. So there are several ones that you have to do and have to have several markers and things. But after finding out, they said, well, you have the markers for it. Fortunately for me, I was pregnant at the time, and because sometimes your hormones can turn it on and turn it off.
Okay.
So my first son saved me. He turned it
Really?
off.
Okay.
Turned it off.
Okay.
So then, flash forward, about 15 years, I joined the LFL, which is a lingerie football league.
Oh, excuse me.
That's right. I was out there.
Yeah.
Right? So we were knocking girls out in the field, but we were outside in Florida at this time. So I'm in Florida, and in the middle of the Florida summer. We're outside training in training camp.
Okay.
And I find out this past year that UV light is my trigger. So it turned back on.
UV light.
Right. So I had a migraine for about 11 days.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it was terrible. Finally go to the ER because I suddenly had pain that literally felt like somebody had set me on fire. I mean, every nerve in my body was going off. So I go in and I let them know, well, I had, the markers for lupus and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, you're having a flare.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's what that
it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my, I guess I would say, my second indoctrination into the lupus family.
Right.
Yeah. And it was pretty terrible. I mean, if it just, every nerve in your body goes off.
Okay.
So again, that's just my experience with
Exactly.
lupus.
So everyone's different.
Everybody's different. I've got friends who have it in their lungs. They have it, and it can be in your heart. It can be in your brain. It is just insidious. It can really be anywhere in your body because it's your own body fighting
itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So on a scale of 1 through 10, which one is it? You're going to say 11, aren't you?
Yes.
Oh,
So
really?
when you're flaring, it can really be anywhere. It depends on really where you are in your, I guess in the scope of your lupus at the time.
Okay.
So you can have a flare where you just have a really bad migraine, and it's just, I mean, no lights, no sound. Please don't touch me. That kind of thing. Yeah, just leave me alone. Don't let air conditioning blow on my face. That hurts. I mean, it's extraordinarily painful.
Okay.
But it could just be here. Or, and my worst symptoms would be that excruciating full body. Every nerve in the body is going off.
Oh my goodness.
The other major issue with that a lot of people don't necessarily talk about because it's not really widely known is that when you have a chronic illness, you are constantly ill. There is not a day off. So there's days where you're just better.
You're okay.
And and people are like, oh, she's okay
fine.
today.
Yeah, right.
Not really.
But it could turn off and you could, turn a corner in 30 minutes. So right now we're having a great time and in 30 minutes when I'm not in remission, I'm like, guys, I need to take a nap. I need to
I
lay
don't feel
down.
good.
Right.
So what is it that you do, though? Can you do anything, any medicine, anything that can be done?
Yeah, there's a lot that can be done for lupus patients. There is no cure.
Right.
Again, I'm looking right here.
Right.
There is no cure. So we need a lot of funding to work. We need the funding so that the research can be done to help us find a cure.
Right.
Especially because it impacts women and women of color in their childbearing years.
Oh my gosh. In the childbearing years.
Yes. As soon as you're able to start, that's normally when it turns on. So there's a lot of women who completely healthy, like myself, completely healthy, everything's going on, and then you hit that age and your body changes internally, and then suddenly,
Oh my God.
you're finding symptoms.
So does that transfer to your child? Do your
Is
kids?
it hereditary?
Yes, it can be hereditary.
Okay.
Now, men can have lupus as well, or men have lupus. However, I believe the numbers are now, it's about 80 to 90% of women.
Oh, women.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's quite a
And
bit.
particularly women of color.
Right.
Huh.
And women of color, they're not getting a fair shake. They've been in the news lately regarding the bias in the medical field
Again,
here.
no.
What is going on with that?
And and I'm glad that you brought that up because one of the issues that we have in the medical community is the implicit bias
Right.
that we, as especially Black women, don't feel pain.
Absolutely.
We're
And
tough.
We're so tough,
Right.
but we feel it.
Right, and it's a carryover from slavery, where it was a way to kind of appease people, or the slave owners saying, well, they can't feel pain anyway, so it's okay
That's something.
to lash, right?
No.
So we're still dealing with that in 2020.
2020.
And studies have been done up until 2016, where 50% of the medical students who had been polled thought that to be true. That African American women and women of color don't feel pain,
Right.
Oh my goodness.
especially not at the same rate as their white counterparts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man.
It's a huge disservice to us because
is.
that means if I come into the doctor's office and I say, I'm really feeling unwell.
They'll say she's okay.
That happens every single
She'll
week.
be all right.
She's fine.
Yeah, she'll
not
be
at all.
okay. She can take it.
I've heard, take a Tylenol. Okay, well, my body feels like it's on
Aching.
fire. Tylenol's not going to cut it.
No.
No.
And in my case, right, it won't even touch it. Morphine, for me, when I've had to be in the ER for the pain, morphine didn't touch it. I had to go up to
That's
the Dilaudid,
serious.
which is the
Dilaudid, yeah.
You're really in some pain at that point.
really is
Isn't that
major
something?
pain. Yeah.
Oh my
So, yeah.
gosh.
So are you usually hospitalized, or you can handle it at home?
Because of the medications that I was taking for quite a while, and because now we know what my trigger is UV light,
Okay.
because I'm able to mitigate my exposure, even in
Okay.
Florida,
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I know, right?
Really?
to the UV light, I've had a lot less symptoms.
Good.
So once you have a real understanding of what's going on in your body, you can start to mitigate some of the
Okay.
things. So you watch your diet, watch the things that may cause a reaction or inflammation in your body. You careful about the kind of exercising you're doing. You may not want to do weight-bearing things if it
Okay.
affects your joints.
Right.
Those things, and that can just
that.
mitigate it. But there's some things that there's absolutely nothing you can
can
do
do
about
about
it.
it.
You just have to grit your teeth and just
Bear it.
hold on
Yeah.
and take this ride,
Yeah.
and it's going to be terrible.
Wow. I know. I have high blood pressure, so when I get stressed out, it's gonna go up.
Right.
So, do you think the stress or anything like does it trigger? Is it off a trigger? Do you think?
Absolutely. I have to say, I thank my parents and my uncle. Thanks, guys. for really teaching me about holistic and comprehensive care for my body, and that included meditation.
Okay.
Yes.
That included really being centered and finding that peace in
Okay.
yourself. So, and it does serve me in my everyday life. I'm a mother. I've got kids. So finding that moment when you want to just explode,
Right.
finding that peace. But yeah, absolutely. Stress is a major trigger for lupus
Okay.
patients. So you have to always be prepared to step away from a situation, practice your breathing,
Yes.
and learn to let certain things just go and
That's right.
understanding what is important to you.
Absolutely.
And I've said this, in certain situations, this is not worth my life.
No, it's not.
So,
Right. Pick and choose your battles.
hence the name.
There you go. All right, Miss Battle. Pick and choose your battle.
Right.
You know, I've heard that lupus mimics other diseases, and it takes a while to diagnose because it's so hard to diagnose. Did it take them a while to diagnose you?
It really did. It took a long time. As I said, at first they thought it was narcolepsy. Then they thought that I just had alopecia. And then when they found out that I had the markers for it, they said, okay, well, that doesn't necessarily mean you're ever going to have any major symptoms, but just be aware of that.
Right.
Okay.
But about 10 years ago, when I was in the league and started having issues, I noticed that I couldn't hold a glass. So I would have a glass in my hand, and I'm clearly holding it,
Right.
and then it would fall.
Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
having broken glass on the floor. I'm like, I was
holding it.
right?
Right.
But my hand would be numb, and I couldn't close it
Yeah.
further than this.
Yeah.
So if I was teaching a dance class, normally we count out the rhythms and everything. I'd have to clap like this because it hurt
okay.
to straighten my hand.
Okay.
So you would find all these things. So they thought it was just rheumatoid arthritis.
Exactly.
So you have all these different things that it's mimicking, and you have to put all those pieces together. And then with the blood work on top. So it's like
Absolutely.
Legos. You got to build that. You got to build that stack. Oh, you're at lupus. And so Mr. House, remember the show House?
Yeah.
It's like, it's never lupus. It was
It's
lupus.
lupus. Yeah, it's lupus.
So exercising, does that help you a little bit?
It does. For me, because dance is such an integral part of who I am as a person,
Yes.
it brings me so much joy.
Good.
Talk about your dance. Let's talk about
Oh, my
that.
goodness.
Because we know that, like you said, it's an intricate part of your lupus
Yes.
and keeping
Yeah.
you calm and
Absolutely. And it's a way to really, for me, it's a way to breathe. It is my breath. The dancing is my breath.
It's
So
in
if
you. It's your life.
It's the life. Yeah, again, I attribute that to my parents and my uncle, that
awesome.
having me in that environment
Yeah.
really impacted who I am today. And yeah, so dancing is, oh my gosh, it has been a healing thing for me, because there were days where I would literally be in bed. I'd get the kids ready for school, they go off to school, and I'd get back in bed. And I'd stay in bed until they get home from school, and I'd put on some makeup so I wouldn't look as sick as I felt.
Right.
And then I would go teach a class, and I'd teach one class, teach my class, and I'd have all this energy I would have taken, some meds and things like that to
Right.
be ready.
Right.
And I go in and I teach the class, and everybody thought I was feeling great.
Of course.
You weren't good.
Oh, it was every movement hurt, but I
Yeah.
was still gonna push
push
through.
yourself.
I was like, I'm not gonna. I'm like, what's the point? I'm gonna hurt no matter what. So at least I'm gonna hurt and be loving my life.
That's
right.
right.
And helping
So you do
people
that.
as you
right,
do it.
and helping
Yeah.
people, especially women. It was a great environment to be in. And then I get back in my car and I drive the 30 minutes home,
And you moan and groan the whole way.
and then I have to like get out of the car like
Yes,
a
yes.
robot because
Yeah.
everything locked into place.
Yes.
So my joints were just locked. So, but the impact of being in that environment with all those beautiful women and having that engagement with them,
Right.
it was worth.
Exactly.
It was worth it.
Is it just women that you teach?
No, I definitely teach men, women, and children.
Okay.
But and during that time, I was specifically teaching mainly women in some of the pole fitness studios
okay.
in Orlando area.
Okay.
It's great. It's a wonderful environment to
Girl,
be
I'd
in.
break my leg. I can't imagine.
It was good. No, but it was a wonderful experience, and it did whatever that wonderful thing was in that space. All of the women there, their lives were improved and enhanced.
Good.
And we all got through some kind of turmoil together.
right.
And we didn't even know
right.
it. It was
Isn't that
incredible.
something? Yeah.
Absolutely incredible.
We know that you take the holistic approach, which is wonderful. Holistic dance, which is wonderful. That's amazing. What would you tell someone that is going through this? What are some of the things that they can, I don't know if it can help them or make things worse? What are some advice that you can give?
I would say the very first thing that I would say is don't allow for the depression that happens with a chronic illness to get you there. And I'm
Okay.
going to be extraordinarily honest.
Okay.
Yes.
And not a lot of people know this. I'm really, really quiet about stuff like this. For a
Okay.
long time, people didn't even know I had lupus. I didn't talk
You
about
didn't talk
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're here today talking
Can
about
you
it.
tell us why you started talking about it? Why you didn't want to talk about
Well,
it?
one of the main reasons why I didn't talk about it, and I want to be completely honest,
Yes.
was born into the kind of in the generation
she was gonna say that.
where it was like keep your business in the
Exactly.
house.
Exactly. I knew you were
You
going
know?
to say that.
Right.
Keep it in the house.
Everybody, yeah.
It's none of nobody's business. So, and I didn't seek outside help. We just worked with our doctor, my
Yeah.
rheumatologist,
Yeah.
and that was it. And so people were like, "Oh, you're losing weight," and you know how the compliments come. "Oh my God,
What's
you're
wrong with
losing
her?"
weight." And I would joke, and I'd be like, "Tragedy," and they'd be like, "Ha ha ha," because they think I was just joking. I was like,
No. I'm serious.
But the major thing that happened to me that I never thought I would ever experience was a depression.
Oh, okay.
So being chronically ill, being sick every single day when your body doesn't work, especially if everything that you are
Yes.
is movement and then you
Right.
cannot move, then who are you?
Isn't that something?
That was a horrible moment for me. I had to figure out if you can't ever dance again, are you still Josan? Are you still yourself? Who are you then if you're not doing that?
Right.
And there was a moment where I was suicidal.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry to hear that.
literally-
Sorry.
I wrote out my living will. I was like,
man.
my kids are taken care of. I'm fine. We're good. But I
Aw.
can't be here anymore. This is way
so-
It was
too
that bad.
painful.
I'm so glad you made it through that.
Yeah, it's really difficult, and I don't think people really understand what that's like, or people that have these illnesses, they don't talk about it.
They don't. They're scared.
It's
That you'll
frightening.
be judged.
Yeah.
People
judge
judge
you
too
or-
much.
That's a scary place to be in, especially if you fancy yourself
Thank you.
empowered as a woman.
Right.
And we're always, it's superwoman anyway.
Of course.
We're supposed to be doing
We're
everything.
supposed
so,
to be.
so how dare you feel
I know.
Why is she-
incapable?
Right.
So in that moment, I had to decide, am I going to stick around? Am I going to do this? And if I am going to stick around and do this, buck up, let's do it. That's right. Let's ride out.
Pain and all.
Pain and all. Exactly, ride out. So it was, for anybody that's going through any kind of chronic illness, I would say, definitely seek help. Find a sisterhood. Find somebody that can be there for you,
Yeah.
that you can
Okay.
confide in. That's going to be an empathetic and listening ear.
There
They
you
may
go.
not have to know everything about
Right,
it.
right.
Just listen, right? And make a conscientious decision about being here, being present.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
Pain is, it's a weird thing to think that you would wish to feel pain.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, what would your life be like if you couldn't feel
Feel
pain?
pain, right.
Well, that's a horrible thing to be.
That's
know,
right.
This is a part of the human experience.
Yes.
So figure out where you fit in that spectrum, and then resolve to be whole. And whatever your decision is, be centered in that.
Yes. you're doing quite a bit to raise awareness. Can you tell us what you're doing? I think you just had
You
an
see the
event.
smile on my face,
Yes.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have to say, I had the most. Social media is incredible.
It
I
is.
just think
It
it's
is. It
incredible.
really is.
I'm scrolling through Instagram one day, just mindlessly scrolling. Boom. So I see all of a sudden hot pink and purple.
Yes.
Lambda Sigma Sigma
Okay.
Lupus Sorority Incorporated.
Lupus sorority.
Yes, ma'am.
What?
First of all, I didn't
There's a
even know, right, that there was non-collegiate sororities in the first place.
Isn't
Oh
that
my gosh.
something?
Right? It's the only non-collegiate
Huh.
disease-based sorority
Pretty neat.
ever, anywhere, ever. Lambda Sigma Sigma. So I'm scrolling through there and I see this and I go, and I had just made it in the window when they were doing their pledging.
Okay.
I jumped in, I was going to do this thing. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Why not?
Right? It's an incredible experience. So as we talked about before, I didn't talk about
Of course.
with anybody.
Yes.
Now I have an entire
Yes.
sisterhood. I'm still in the pledging process.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm
Okay.
so excited. I'm so excited.
We're excited for you.
There are 7 chapters, and it started in 2018.
Okay.
Wow.
Started in
still
2018,
new.
and they've got 7 chapters, and they're continuously growing.
Okay.
That's nice.
And it's every woman has lupus, and everybody's on any part of that spectrum. So some women are in remission, and some women are literally will be in the middle of our pledge class study group, and someone's having a flare. And we're doing Zoom right now, clearly because COVID.
Right.
We can't be next to each other. And you can see them just sitting there, and
Pain.
and it's hurting, and you just know. And so we're chatting with each other. It's okay, baby, I got you.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
here with
nice.
you. You're gonna be fine.
You have that
Yes.
support.
And it has changed everything.
Yeah.
Everything. So I've always been willing to support other women, but I kept this close to my chest. And now that I have this whole sisterhood, I have this platform where I can shout it from
Yeah.
I'm sick, and so what?
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And I'm gonna
still
dance
here.
on it.
That's right. I'm gonna keep it moving.
That's right. And I
She has
got
a
a
sisterhood now.
legion of sisters
That's
behind
right.
me, and that's what we're doing. And
Yes.
it is incredible. So I have to thank LaKasha Lee, who is the founder.
Okay.
That's
And
amazing.
She's incredible. She's in Chicago, Illinois. Started again 2 years ago, 2018.
That is wonderful.
Incorporated on January 3rd, 2019, and 7 chapters and still growing.
Still growing. That's
Incredible.
amazing. That
That's
is.
a nice. Yeah, I've never heard of something like
Yeah,
that.
I
Good
was,
for her.
I was like, oh,
And good for you.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
You got support. You got some friends, some sisters.
Uh-huh.
It's beautiful. And it changed everything. And something that someone said to me very recently, someone I hadn't seen in a very long time, she goes, "You look happy." It's nice to hear somebody say, "You look beautiful today."
Right.
But
She
you
said,
look
"You
happy."
Oh my gosh. That
Yeah.
felt incredible.
Yes,
And
yes.
yeah, I feel that support. And again,
Good.
my family's there.
Okay.
I've got a wonderful family that supported me. My husband
Good.
would carry me.
Yes.
When my
Wonderful.
legs didn't work, he was
Yes.
there. He would do those things for me.
Oh, bless
And
them.
yeah, and now I have them, and I've got an entire legion of women.
that
It's like
something?
an army.
Yes.
We're kind of badass.
That's right. What keeps you going? What keeps you going? I mean, you've got the support, you've got it all, but what keeps Josan going every single
think we
day?
said it wrong.
What keeps you going? Josan.
Chosen, like
Chosen.
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 Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. You know what? I have to say the thing that keeps me going every single day is the ability to touch other women.
Okay. Yes.
I feel like there's an imbalance right now of energy in our universe, where we've been focused, especially in the Western cultures, we're so focused on production and getting things done. You gotta do, you gotta do, gotta do. So it's very masculine.
Yes.
And now we have missed out on the power of the feminine.
Okay.
So now I'm finding myself in these positions to really foster that in other women, and also changing them myself.
Okay.
I mean, I told you I used to play football, like professional league
Yeah.
football. So I'm used to like knocking a chick down. I'm like, that's a really
With your little
masculine-
self.
right. Pow, and and it hurt a lot. But I was ready to get out there and do it.
Do it
and
again.
now I'm finding the power in that softness that is a woman, that
That's
is a
right.
feminine woman.
Yes.
And how we can walk into a space and change energy. We've
That's
done
right.
nothing.
No,
That's right.
not a word.
Absolutely.
I used to think I had to come in and,
No.
and just come in and be imposing and,
No.
have this certain look about me and this energy about me. And it was felt, and it did its job. And now I'm finding this beautiful strength in this. And that's what keeps me going now, because I'm not only finding that in myself, but I'm fostering it in other women through dance and
so
music.
beautiful.
And keep sharing your story with it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah, and I'm finding now that I'm being more and more vocal about what I've been through. There are other women that I've been close to for years
that didn't know.
have lupus, and we didn't know. We were going through the same
Everybody,
thing.
yeah, everybody's shh.
Yeah,
don't wanna
absolutely.
talk about
It's
it.
always
Yeah.
quiet. Especially for women
Keep
of
it in your
color.
home.
Yes, it's pretty bad. They
Don't
want
talk in your
everybody.
business.
Yeah,
Don't tell your
don't talk
business.
about it. Keep it at home.
Keep it in the house. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's what keeps me going now. And I have to say, I've got beautiful, beautiful children. I
Yeah.
gave birth to 2 beautiful young black men.
Great.
And they are everything to me. And I had the absolute privilege and honor to take in my husband's daughter. She is a wonderful little girl. I always tell her, they say little, they're 19.
Of
I
course,
got 2
uh-huh.
19-year-olds and a 4-year-old. They're not little.
They're still little. They're always going to be your little. Yeah.
But they, I tell her all the time, you didn't grow, under my heart. You grew in it.
Oh, how
Like, that's I read
sweet.
you. Yeah, baby.
That's sweet.
I was like, you're my little girl. I don't care what happens. You're my
That's
little
right.
girl.
You're still mine.
Yeah, and they keep me going. They keep. And that time when I wasn't sure if I wanted to stay,
Oh.
I thought, well, if I leave them, how do I leave them? How do I do this? And now that I've decided to be here,
I'm glad you decided to be here.
yeah, I'm like, I'm doing this for you guys.
Yes.
Excuse me,
It's okay.
so that I know that you can get through anything.
Oh, God is
Absolutely.
good.
Yeah.
Sweet.
That's wonderful. You mentioned you had 3 men at your house, and this season that we have of uncertainty,
Hey,
how do you feel about that?
I think as a black woman, it's in our DNA. We are always protecting.
Absolutely.
Always protecting.
Oh, yes.
And there's always been this fear. We're always in fear.
Always.
Of if you leave the house, are you
Yes.
coming home?
Yes.
And I had to make a decision really recently to let go of that fear.
It's hard, though.
It was extraordinarily hard because my 19-year-old is driving
Yeah, that's
and he
scary
gets in his
itself.
car and he drives away and I'm going, okay.
Yes.
Lord, cover him.
He's gonna be
Yes.
home. He said he's gonna be home at 8.
It's 8:05.
My
Where
boy.
are you?
And I think people don't think about the fact that as a black mother, sometimes I've literally considered, don't call him because if you call him, he may reach for his phone.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Now, what other mother has to
gosh.
think about that?
Right.
Isn't that something?
It's incredible what we have to even consider.
Yes.
That I let go of that fear and know that they're covered, and also understand that I have to believe that I've taught them
Yes.
well.
Right.
Yes.
That's
And
right.
they know how to handle
You
themselves.
did
Right.
your part.
Do my part.
Yes.
And also understand that whatever transpires in the universe is, it is.
It
It's not
is.
good or it's bad.
Yeah.
It is. Right.
So I have to settle with this is.
Yes.
Very well said.
I love that. You also have been featured in music videos, commercials, TV. Can you share with us some of those?
Yeah. Again, thanks to my parents and my uncle, that I've had these incredible opportunities to be in front of the camera. So I've been in lots of commercials since I was a little something. And
You still a little something.
in my head,
Yes.
I'm like 6 foot tall.
That's right.
And it's like this imposing thing. And I'm like, wait, no, you're 5 foot nothing and a half. Be quiet.
But powerful.
Right. That's
Small
right.
and powerful.
Like dynamite. That's how I
There
package.
you go. Uh-huh.
So we got commercials when I was little, and then as I grew as a dancer, it was music videos and being on stage,
Okay.
and so all these wonderful opportunities. And that was from being in the States, and then when I moved to Germany, I was doing the same thing. I was modeling in Germany, dancing in music videos there, being a choreographer for lots of artists out there
wow.
as well, and
Very
it was
good.
great. And I'm doing the same here,
That's nice.
juggling all those things.
Exactly.
right.
I'm juggling.
That's
You
great.
like to stay busy.
Explosive Dance and Entertainment. How did that come about?
Oh my goodness! So this is when I was in Germany.
Yes.
It was the funniest thing. I walk into this nightclub and there is a cipher. So they're breakdancing, and I know that people are very aware how impactful hip hop is
That's
in
right.
the entire world.
That's right.
I come in and it's booming in there. It was nasty, and these boys are breaking, and I was like mind blown.
In Germany.
In Germany, because I didn't at that time I didn't really know much. This was like 1997.
Right.
Obviously, the internet is kind of still new.
Of course.
So that that whole knowing what's happening across the ocean was not wasn't as easy as it is now. So and I'm watching these guys dancing, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna go talk to these guys, see what they're about. And I was trying to talk to them. They knew every rap word in the song, but they couldn't have a conversation with me because they didn't speak enough English. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. But then they had somebody who would translate it for us. So we get together, and it literally exploded, which is why I chose the name.
Right,
Exploded into this whole dance company. So I brought all of my knowledge of hip hop and jazz and all the technical dance with me, and the boys brought the break dance, and we had auditions, and we grabbed some girls, and then we ended up working with the radio station, the premier radio station
there
in
Germany.
Unterfranken, and we were touring with the radio station.
Oh
So
my goodness.
we were doing music videos, and we were touring with, do live shows, and it all kind of blossomed organically from a cipher in a nightclub.
Isn't that something?
Then that's how
it.
dance works. That's what it's supposed to be. Dance is for community. And
That's right. There you go. Would you do that again? Would you do
Oh my
something?
gosh. In a heartbeat. And I can't wait to go back and visit Germany because
Yeah, I love
still
that.
got a family there.
Yeah.
What's your favorite dance? Which one?
Oh, I have to say hip hop. There's a part of me that's still really aggressive. This pink bow, do not let it fool you, people. It's like there's a part of me that is still that warrior woman, and it's like when I move in that language, I'm able to express that part of
very
myself,
good.
and then I can.
Yes, be a little girly girl.
Yes.
That's right.
Before we get out of here, can you tell us something fun about you?
Fun.
I thought the NFL, NFL.
Let's see. Well, let's see. Fun. I do speak fluent German, and I love British comedy from the 70s.
British comedy from the 70s.
From the 70s. I watch Are You Being Served?
Wow.
Yeah,
How long
and
did it
Faulty
take?
Tower.
You said you speak fluent German?
She was there for 4 years.
7.
Oh, she said 7.
7
I was
years.
there for
7.
4 and
She
I'm
was there
not
for-
fluent.
You know what it was? I said to myself, thanks, Mom.
Yes.
Again, my mother, one of the things she told me when I was growing up is when I had to learn a language, learn Latin because it is the basis for a lot
Yes.
of languages.
Right.
So I had that. But because my mother was an educator,
Okay.
I thought, well, how would my mother teach someone something? How do kids then learn language? Well, I said, well, Sesame Street. So I found Sesame Street on the German, and I watched Sesame Street because
And you learned it.
Really?
repetitive,
That's true.
and they broke it
makes
down.
sense.
And then I
That's
started
nice.
listening to more and more to the radio, and then watching the news, and then reading newspapers,
Okay.
and just having conversations. And then I knew when I was fluent when I woke up one morning and I realized I had dreamt in German. I said, oh, okay, then we're
That's
good.
it. Yeah, that's it. It worked.
Yeah.
That's great.
That is awesome. Good for you.
You have some upcoming projects coming up, don't you?
Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. Well, I have to say, I work with an amazing team of people. One of them is Jeray James. She is the owner and founder of Inez Patricia School of Dance.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard of her.
Yeah. She should be in this
I've heard
chair
of
soon.
her.
I
Yes,
hope.
she should.
Yes, I've heard of her.
Yeah, and incredible. As a matter of fact, they just were awarded Business of the Month
Oh,
from
man.
Mills 50.
Yeah, that's what I
Incredible.
saw that.
Yeah, incredible.
Okay.
And so we've got one of our showcases coming up. We've got, I believe, 3 or 4 graduating seniors.
Okay.
So we have this whole thing. We are working on another project. We actually did a project with this wonderful makeup artist, and my girlfriend, Francesca. We all worked together on
Okay.
a project that was shown to Alicia Keys and Swizz Beatz. They were looking for a visual for a new song.
Okay.
So and this was literally in less than 48 hours. And it was incredible. These people that I work with are incredible.
away.
These people are incredible. And we,
My goodness. Thank
dancers
goodness,
and
wow.
makeup and costume and the whole nine. And that went out. So I'll actually send you a link to that so you can actually see what we did.
Yeah.
My son is starring in it. It's
Oh,
incredible. It's fun
gosh.
things. So we have
Congratulations.
all these really fun projects
beautiful.
coming up.
Sounds fun. Good
Keep
for
it up. Keep doing
you.
what you're doing.
We just thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that I was
Appreciate
able
it.
to be here. This is so nice.
Thank you for being so open and sharing
Yes.
your story. And we wish you luck with your cause, and we wish you well with your health as well.
Right.
Thank you. It was really an honor. I really appreciate you both for having me.
Thank you.
All right.
You.
Thank you for joining us this evening. Please tune in next Tuesday at 6 p.m. for another inspirational guest right here from our community sharing their story. In closing, according to lupus.org, as many as 1.5 million Americans are living with lupus. making it a widespread problem. 9 out of 10 of those are women. Symptoms include fatigue, hair loss, pain, swollen joints, rash, and seizures, just to name a few. It affects people of all ages, races, and ethnicities. Remember, no matter what your diagnosis, know that you are not powerless, you are a survivor. Thank you for tuning in to Candid Conversations.
Welcome to Candid Conversations online and TV show, a space where the least desired and hardest topics are brought to light in order to heal as a community.